Alright guys, welcome to Flavo Rihanna's MMA show. I'm your host Flavo Rihanna, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. Guys, UFC Vegas 81 is officially in the books. Next week we got the pay-per-view, Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. But first, we're going to talk about the go-home show, and that is Edson Barboza versus Sodiq Yusuff. Man, great fight. One fight of the night. Sodiq Yusuff came in strong immediately and was just not giving Barboza any time to, try to test things out. There was no feeling out the process. It was just Sodiq Yusuff just coming in and immediately, applying the brakes. Not brakes, but applying the pressure. No brakes applied whatsoever. And was just trying to finish Barboza. Barboza gets dropped. He gets hurt. Eye looks bloody. And overall, it's just one of those things where Barboza, was just trying to weather the storm. He was just trying to survive at that point. And luckily he was, because the veteran of him, the IQ of him, allowed him to get through. Because many fighters would have not persevered through that storm that Sodiq ended up imposing on Barboza. But Barboza ended up surviving. And it was just punches, getting dropped, hooks, and I was surprised that Barboza wasn't able to pick up on the fact that Sodiq was just throwing these combinations at him. And Sodiq made a mistake taking him down. Personally, I would have never taken down Barboza. If I'm able to capitalize on the area where I know that I'm good at, right? Then why would I take it to a different element, right? Why if I'm working good at, if I'm doing pretty good in the striking department, why am I going to, adventure in the wrestling department? Doesn't make any sense. And that's where I was like, you know what? If Sodiq is going to make bad, decisions like that, in-fighting decisions like that, then he's not going to have a good time, trying to, get a victory off of Barboza. And Barboza, being the veteran, he's been there with the best. He's been there with Khabib. He's been there with, with Poirier and stuff. He's been there with so many good fighters, all right? I personally felt that, Barboza was going to survive. And I made a mistake. I didn't go on DraftKings. I didn't look at the live money line wager, right? I'm pretty sure it would have been something like plus 750. Man, if I would have dropped like $20 on that, I would have been doing well. But anyways, all right? Barboza muscles through in round 2, alright? Sodiq looked like he gassed himself out in round 1, and then he realized that. So what does Barboza do as the good veteran that he is? Attack the body. Make sure he doesn't have time to recover. Make sure that he doesn't have time to, persevere and stuff, alright? So he attacked the body, apply punishment, apply pressure on him, and boy oh boy, Sodiq was not liking the fact that he was getting hurt. He was not liking the fact that he was, feeling the pressure on being gassed out. And then Sodiq also was just realizing, you know what, maybe, I got to figure out a different avenue on how I can, go about this. Plug this in. But yeah, so going into round 2, I'm like, all right, maybe Sadiq's gonna, make in-game adjustments with his coaching. Turns out, you hear on the commentary, Sadiq's coaches, were telling him at one point, they had said the plan was to hurt this man in round 1, and if you get to finish, you get to finish. And then if you can't finish him, take the next couple of rounds, and then we'll regroup and then try to finish him off. Why would you ever do something like that, in my opinion? Why? Why would you tell your fighter to go in there, pretty much gas yourself out, and when you gas yourself out and then you're still trying to do the workout, it is the worst thing in the world. You feel like death, all right? You ever try running and then all you're doing is breathing in cold air? You're into mile 4, you're into mile 5, and you're telling yourself, why the hell am I doing this, right? That is probably what Sodiq Yusuff is probably telling himself, right? And his coaches were telling him, pretty much set up that game plan. Hey, finish this dude, hurt him, and if you can't, take rounds 2, 3 to regroup in round 4 and 5. Stupidest game plan in the world. All right. So that's that. Then you see in round 3, Barboza applying the pressure once again, attacking the body, hitting him, doing well, making Sadiq, fight off his back foot, because in the first round it was Edson Barboza, right? And then you see Barboza setting up, hits his infamous wheel kick. So gets the wheel kick done, and you look on the replay, he misses the he if he would have landed with his heel right over here, been night Irene. All right, he lands on the side of the foot. By him landing on the side of his foot, drops Sadiq Youssef. Barboza falls too. He's also because he got battered, and then I don't know why Barboza ends up going in and trying to go for a Dars. Sir, I'm going to tell you something right now. You haven't gotten a submission victory in over 10 years. Why in the world would you go for a Dars? Alright? I love you, Barboza. I really do. You're an exciting fighter. One of my favorite fights was you versus Shane Burgos. But why would you go for a submission victory when you know that you haven't gotten a submission in over 10 years? I'm just asking the question. Why? Luckily, Barboza ends up capitalizing and persevering to a victory in rounds, 3, 4, and 5, winning pretty much rounds 2 to 5. All right, with round 3, I given him a 10-8. I don't know what the hell did one of the judges, not do by giving Sadiq Youssef a 10-8, not giving him a 10-8 round. What's next for both fighters, in my opinion? Look, Sadiq Youssef comes back after a year-long layoff. He beats the crap out of Don Sheamus in 30 seconds. Gets him to tap out. And that was because of the fact that was a replacement fighter on short notice. If I'm Sadiq Youssef, I'm going to try to be active, guys. All right. Don't really care for his, bet online, promos and stuff like that. Get out there. Be more active. All right. Fight Billy Quarantillo. That's actually the fighter that I recommended for him to fight. And as for Barboza, you're 37 or 38. Maybe you got maybe 1 or 2. Maybe this might be your last run for possibly getting a title shot. Lightweight was is the apex division in the UFC. Go down to featherweight. Still a really good division too. But I can see, you maneuvering your way to the top on possibly getting a title shot if you're, booked correctly. I could see it stopping against Max Holloway, but what I would love to see is, Edson Barboza versus, who do I have over here? Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar wants to come back at the end of the year. I really see him coming back in January. Have both these fighters fight on the January pay-per-view card in Toronto. Couple of fights I wanted to talk about. Terrence McKinney looked great against Brandon Marat. 20-second knockout, flying knee, ground and pound. Says he wants to be more active. He says he wants to fight again at the end of the year, maybe even at MSG. Would love to see him fight, and me personally, because he didn't get hurt at all, this is the fight I want to see him fight. Getting a little closer. I would love to see him fight Mike Davis. Make that fight happen, UFC. Hunter Campbell, Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard, make it happen. Mike Davis has been MIA. Have them fight. What's it called? At Madison Square Garden. If not, have them fight for UFC 300. Slap that in the prelims. That'll be one heck of a fight. Yeah, Michel Pieta versus Andre Petroski. Michel Pieta making his middleweight debut. Looked great. Finishes Petroski very quick, under a minute. Drops him. Ground and pounds. Done. Petroski, experienced his first loss as an active UFC fighter. And, what's it called? Pieta gets his first win at middleweight. And then this is the fight that got me more pissed off than anything else. Cameron Simon versus Christian Rodriguez. Now, Christian Rodriguez, famously known as the guy that taking the zero off of Raul Rosas Jr. Christian Rodriguez did miss weight. And fellas, I hate when fighters miss weight. There is nothing that pisses me off than when fighters miss weight. And he didn't miss weight by 1 pound. He didn't miss weight by 2 pounds. He didn't miss weight by 3 pounds. He didn't miss weight by 4 pounds. He missed weight by 5 pounds. 5. Man weighed in at 140 pounds. Alright. He made weight when he fought Jonathan Pierce at 145 pounds. Clearly, his body can't make 135 pounds. He made it once. All right. I don't know how long that training camp was. That training camp was against Joshua Weems, but he made it once. He missed weight on his Dana White Contender Series fight, and they still signed him. I understand he is a very talented fighter. All right, but Christian Rodriguez, get your weight together, buddy. Get your weight together. I don't understand why you can't make weight at 135 pounds and they list you as a bantamweight. Go up to featherweight, all right? Regardless if you're a small featherweight, go up to featherweight, all right? Or go and hire a really good nutritionist. You have the Pettis brothers, as your mentors. Have them hook you up with somebody. I'm pretty sure they have somebody that can hook you up with a good nutritionist. And stop being lazy. Cut the weight. Clearly, you didn't want to cut the weight. The last 5 pounds are the hardest things to cut. All right, it's the hardest weight to cut is the last 5 pounds, and you chose not to. Clearly, you came into camp heavy, or you just didn't want to push yourself through it. And you know what? That is the reason why you ended up winning that fight. Because Cameron Simon, he looked like a person that truly walks around at 138 pounds, and he weighed in 135 pounds. Christian Rodriguez, he looked like he weighed maybe 155, 160 pounds. You saw the big difference, all right? You saw that Rodriguez just didn't want to make the weight. That's all I got to say. Look, Mick Maynard, Sean Shelby, look, make him fight at featherweight. This is ridiculous right now. This is ridiculous that he can't make weight, and you keep on putting him at bantamweight, and then he's having a clear advantage against other UFC fighters that weigh 135 pounds. Nah. Put him at featherweight and make him learn his lesson. That's all I gotta say. Until then, guys, I am Flav Oriana, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.